remember it gets to a full count, stepping out, taking a deep breath, looking behind me, and I was hitting 9-hole that game. I see Caden Wallace on deck, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I mean, he's not going to want to walk me to load the bases to face one of the best hitters I've ever seen. I think everyone knows that, like this kid, and I was ready for it. It was up and in, and I wasn't going to let it go. I was going to put a good swing on it. But the second I hit it, I remember taking a few steps, and then after that, I blacked out. I don't really remember rounding the bases, any of that kind of stuff. That it was kind of a blur, just pure joy, excitement, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll remember that moment forever. Definitely my favorite baseball memory so far.
Belted deep right field, it is out of here! And Arkansas with a walk-off winner!
So Kendall, where do we find you in your Arkansas baseball career?
Yeah, so I'm in my sophomore year here. I've enjoyed every single bit of it. Not taking any of it for granted, you know. Freshman year was awesome, huge experience. Being able to go to Omaha, you know, just learn from all the older guys. Some guys that aren't that much older, but they've already moved on and they're in, you know, professional baseball. But yeah, sophomore year, it's been going really well. I'm loving every bit of it.
You're from the Kansas City area?
Yes, sir.
Around Overland Park?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
How'd you end up at Arkansas?
So yeah, I'm in Coach Thompson. I was talking to him for, you know, just a while growing up, playing, you know, summer travel baseball, that kind of stuff. And I had a couple buddies that came here. Robert Moore, I grew up playing with him a whole lot, so I saw he was playing here. He loved it. I talked to him a whole lot. And then the main reason too was, you know, I loved, you know, the winning atmosphere here, the history, the coaches, everything. Loved all that. And then obviously it's, like we were talking about earlier, it's 3.5 hours away. And I love having my family here to watch me. I love being able to see them, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's a quick, easy drive, 3.5 hours, so that also played a little part into it. But yeah, never look back. Love it here.
Were you a fan of any baseball teams or college teams growing up?
So yeah, I mean, I loved Major League Baseball growing up. I remember every morning I'd wake up and be watching MLB Network, just growing up, all that kind of stuff. And then I didn't really take interest into college baseball until I was like, I'll probably be there actually pretty soon. So in high school, you know, we'd tune in and watch a lot of the stuff. Cheer on Robert, all the other guys on the team. It was really fun to watch.
So you knew Robert Moore, played with him, and did that come something you started watching, you know, as far as Arkansas baseball? Were there other teams that you liked?
100%. I remember tuning in, especially, I think I committed here summer coming into my junior year. And so from even a little bit before then, but from that moment on, I mean, I feel like I was watching every game I could. Yeah, it was super cool to see Robert. I remember watching with my family. A couple of my buddies were over that South Carolina game where they were down there and they were chirping him a little bit, and he ended up hitting 2 just bombs, and we were going crazy back home. It was just really cool to see. And I remember that moment. From that moment on, I mean, I was just so pumped to get down here.
It feels like that area, ever since Robert Moore came to Arkansas, maybe even before that, but since that time, I end up talking to guys like you who are some of the other guys that have come here from there? Yeah,
so Christian Franklin was here. Yep. So he went to Rockhurst High School, that's the Kansas City area. I mean, Tavian Josenberger's here now. Yep. And so I also grew up playing with Tavian. So I was super pumped that he ended up here. Let's see, we got Robert, Tavian. We had a kid named Jude Putz. He ended up transferring, but he was here for a year and a half. He was one of my roommates, really good buddies. Let's see. There's got to be more.
There's a
ton. There's pitchers. So Ben Bybee, who's one of the pitchers now, he grew up. I mean, I played him with and against him in high school all the time. Brady Slavens is also from that area, and there's
you guys move your travel ball team.
It is
to Arkansas and become the Razorbacks.
It's awesome. It is. It's really cool to see, especially in these last 5 to 8 years. I mean, it feels like every single year they're just feeding more and more into it. Because I know there's a couple high schoolers down there now that are commuted here, and I met them, over break, working out down there, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
So growing up, were you playing everything, or did you focus on baseball early on?
I played everything. I did. So I like basketball, football, baseball. So I didn't start playing baseball until I was like 7 or 8, which the others I was playing way before then. And I just never, when I was younger, I was just like football, basketball, that's what I like. And I remember having a conversation with my aunt, and they wanted me to just try it. One of my buddies really liked it. And I was like a little skeptical about it. I was like, whatever, went out for it and just loved it ever since I went out there. And so I ended up just playing for a long time. Stopped playing football when I was really young, sometime in middle school. But basketball and baseball were my things going into high school. Baseball is obviously my favorite sport, but I did love basketball. So I played basketball up until my sophomore year, and then just ended up, I was like, I'm just gonna specialize in baseball. That's what I want to do. So the next 2 years, that's all I did, and yeah, love it.
What were you like in basketball?
I was a guard. I was either shooting it or I was taking it to the rack hard. There's no in between other than that.
Yeah.
That was my thing. Yeah, I was a point guard. A little heavier now. So like growing up in high school, even in baseball, I was like not a completely different player, but I was different. I was a little lighter. Usually hit like 2-hole, that kind of thing. Slapped it around the yard, steal some bases, that kind of stuff. But yeah.
When did you start playing travel baseball?
Yeah, so let's see. I mean, I always played, so I'd say I probably started when I was like 9 or 10, but like when it got really competitive was probably when I turned 11. I remember when I was 11, that's when I started playing with Robert. So I've known him forever, and those were our guys, and we played with each other until we were 17 years old. So it was awesome.
What's different about baseball to you than other sports?
Oh man, I'd say the mental side of it. It's very articulate, and I'm sure it goes along. Like if you talk to a professional or college athlete within a different sport, they'd say probably the same thing. But I think baseball is very detailed. It's got a huge mental side part of the game that a lot of people, if you don't play the sport, you don't really know. We're not just going up there and trying to hit the ball. There's a lot that goes into it. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting sport, but a fun one.
Have you always been a good hitter?
Yes.
Has that been the best part of your game? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Ever since I was a younger kid, that's what I love doing too. So yeah, definitely.
A lot of time in the cages?
Oh yeah. So I've had the same hitting coach since he was my first ever baseball coach, actually. So when I was 7.
Like 7
years old since I met him. Or right when I met him, yeah.
Wow.
So he started coaching me. So now every time I go home, same guy, same coach. Love him to death. His name's Sean French. Wouldn't be here today without him. So I'll go home and hit with him still to this day.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome. It is awesome. I'm trying to get him down here for a game as soon as I can because he deserves the world. He loves baseball. Still doing the same thing. He's been doing lessons, coaching forever. So yeah, great guy.
You always just hit from the left side?
I did. It's just how it happened. My dad said, we'd play catch, all that kind of stuff. And then when we first picked up a bat, it's just how I did it. I don't know. It's weird because I do everything else right-handed. Like throwing wise, writing, all that kind of stuff.
So you've got that going for you, though. I mean, that's I think a lot of dads would like try to do that.
If they were
with their
baseball
kid.
dads, that's definitely what they'd go for.
And it doesn't work for all of them.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't.
So it's cool that worked out for you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so, did you get recruited by a lot of colleges? Were you you committed early?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Going into your junior year, that's early.
Yep.
Were there other factors or other schools that could have been a factor?
So, yeah, there definitely was. I wouldn't say they were a factor, but there was other schools, in the picture that I was talking to. So Robert was a year older than me, so I always played up. So there was more scouts at our games, college scouts, getting these look at the guys, and I was kind of just always that young guy that was in there, and they were like, who's that? And they'd end up talking to me, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I remember, so Arkansas was the first school I visited. I came down here with my dad, and there's supposed to be more visits after, and I remember right after I get in the car, I'm like, that's where I want to go. And next day, made the call, committed, and the rest is history.
I think it's cool for Arkansas fans over the years in all kind of sports. If you go way back in history when Arkansas moved to the SEC,
Mm-hmm.
There's this period of time where there's these teams in the SEC that have been successful. Big names. In football, Alabama, Georgia, and
Of course.
We could go on. Arkansas has become, even though you haven't won a national championship yet, you've been to all these college World Series. And it's always interesting for I think fans to hear what somebody like you, who was a really good baseball player coming out of high school, saw in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Because I think there's this feeling with Razorback fans sometimes that they're proud, but do they put themselves in this upper echelon category? And that's what's happened in baseball. Mm-hmm. How did you see it coming in?
Yeah, it's just, there's just something different about it down here. You know what I mean? Just the baseball program as a whole, and then stepping away from the baseball program. Just the atmosphere. Everyone just loves it, and you can tell. I remember just watching them play, like the passion they play with. Everyone loves it, and like you said, it's a very prestigious program. We've had a ton of success. Obviously, haven't brought home a national championship yet, and hopefully we can do that. I think we're very much capable of doing that. And obviously, it's bound to happen at some point, especially with the way the program's trending and has been for the last, years on years. But there's just something different about this place.
Now the pitch. Swung on, belted to the gap in left center. That ball gets down, it gets all the way to the fence, is going to clear the bases. Josenberger, Stovall, Slavens all score. Diggs at second base standing up. The Hogs have a 3-0 lead.
Tell me about your family.
Yeah, so I'm a middle child. I got 2 brothers. So my older brother, Devin, he is 3 years older than me. He's in London right now doing, he's getting his master's degree. So he graduated from the University of Notre Dame. He was, so we're all pretty different, all right? So he loves school, very studious guy. He was valedictorian at Notre Dame. He'll come back, so he'll get his master's there, and then he's going to Columbia to get for his, he's going to medical school there. That's where he's going to medical school. So yeah, he's awesome. 3 years apart. And then my younger brother, he's actually a freshman here, which is awesome. So he hasn't played sports. He's just going to school here. So we're like 14 and a half, 15 months apart. So we're super close. So I grew up with him. He's just like a best friend I've always had. But so yeah, his name's Carter. And then my mom's from Northwest Iowa is where she's from. So she's grew up in a huge family. She's got 5 sisters and a brother. So that's awesome. I love all of them to death. They're awesome. We're all super, super close. And she's a bunch of sisters that live here. My dad grew up in Kansas City.
They live in Northwest Arkansas?
Or no, sorry.
Kansas.
I was thinking Kansas.
Yeah, I got you. Right. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, but they've been coming down. Actually, a couple of her sisters are coming down this weekend, so it's really cool. And so they love it. They love it. My dad grew up in the Kansas City area. He played football at the University of Drake. It's in the Des Moines area. And so my mom was at Northern Iowa, and that's just kind of how they met. But yeah, it's the fam.
What do your mom and dad do?
Yeah, so my dad, he's a salesman. He's in business. He's VP of sales of it's a company called Gemline. They sell a bunch of just like tote bags, gadgets, all that kind of stuff. But he's been there forever. He loved it. He used to work for Gear for Sports. It's a big thing down in Kansas City. That's kind of where he started, but he's always kind of been in that business area. And then yeah, my mom, for a while she was working on a computer, just transferring people, call to call, that kind of stuff. And honestly, I'm not sure if she's even doing that anymore. She might be when she's home, but they've been, now that we're all out of the house, they just got back. They were out of the country with my brother for a couple weeks. So that looked awesome. They got to see him, and then they're here a ton, just watching baseball, hanging out with my little brother, all that kind of stuff. So it's been really cool.
So they get to come to a lot of games.
Oh yeah, for a lot of games. So we had that crazy homestand. We were here for I don't even know how many games, but it was awesome. So they ended up just packing up and getting an Airbnb for about a month, and so it was really cool. A couple of guys, my little brother, our buddies, we go over there, get a home cooked meal, hang out with the parents, all that kind of stuff. So it was awesome.
6 RBIs against Mississippi State pitching for Diggs. 2-1. A fly ball well hit deep right center field. That one's got a chance. That ball's out of here. Second grand slam of the year for Kendall Diggs.
What's it feel like to play baseball here, to play baseball in the SEC?
Yeah. Oh, it's to explain it, I'd say, I've played, especially this year, a ton of games. I've gone up there, and for every single game I get the same, type of feeling, little butterflies. I wouldn't say nervous, but if you're not nervous, something's wrong. But no, not nervous, but it's just a different type of feeling. A feeling I've never really felt playing baseball, if that makes sense. Growing up, I was always super pumped. It was always super fun to play games, but I've never played in front of an atmosphere like this. And across the whole SEC, it's awesome. You get that feeling everywhere. But something about here, it's different. It's different for sure.
Well, you just look at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And if you didn't know anything about college baseball, it's going to get your attention driving by. Yep. I can't imagine there's a better situation than the big leagues. It's kind of like this environment or the big leagues, right?
Oh, 100%. Yes. And I think, this building's unbelievable. And I think my class got extremely lucky. Our first year was when this building was completed. So that's kind of all we know. But I try to, remind myself, this is not normal. We can't take this for granted. This place is unbelievable. And just this building is what came to mind, but the field, everything. But yeah, this in the big leagues, it's not very far apart. It's unbelievable.
So you're talking about the Hunt Center. Explain a little bit more about when you talk about this building, what it's like.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I've never been inside a place like this in my life. I feel like there's still days to this day where like I'll walk down a set of stairs and take a left. I'm like, I didn't even know this was here, and it's like a whole different room. But this place is unbelievable. You know, I don't think anyone else in the country has an opportunity like we have here to get better every single day. And so that's something we can't take for granted. Whether it's in the weight room, whether the pitchers are in the PDC, the Pitcher Development Center. We're in the meeting room right now. We do scout reports up here. We can watch video. You can do anything you want in this place, and it's all top tier. And I don't think there's anywhere in the country that even really comes close to it. So yeah, we can't take this place for granted. Never will. And like I mentioned earlier, we got lucky. It was completed my freshman year, so like this is kind of all we've known, and it was just like we're kind of spoiled, to be honest. Like we get here, we have this amazing place, so yeah, we can't take it for granted. Every single day, just come in here, get the work done, and hopefully it pays off. So
your career kind of got jump-started with a walk-off home run as a freshman.
Yes, sir.
Doherty's payoff. Belted deep right field. It is out of here. And Arkansas with a walk-off winner.
What do you remember about that at bat?
Yeah. Oh man. So all game, I was having a good game. I was seeing the ball really well, hitting it hard, but nothing to show for it. Nothing was falling or whatever. And I remember, let's see, I think it was first, second. I think it was Borfin and Webb. They were on base. I remember walking up there, a long at bat against Jack Doherty, really good right-handed pitcher. I ended up facing him this year. He got me a couple times. But yeah, long at bat. I mean, heater, spinning me, all that kind of stuff. I remember it gets to a full count, stepping out, taking a deep breath, looking behind me, and I was hitting 9-hole that game. I see Caden Wallace on deck, and I remember thinking to myself, like, I mean, he's not going to want to walk me to load the bases to face one of the best hitters I've ever seen. And I think everyone knows that, like this kid. And so yeah, I was just hunting something good. If you go back on the video, it could have been ball 4, but I was ready for it. It was up and in, and I wasn't going to let it go. I was going to put a good swing on it. But the second I hit it, I remember taking a few steps, and then after that, I blacked out. I don't really remember rounding the bases, any of that kind of stuff. It was kind of a blur, just pure joy, excitement, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'll remember that moment forever. Definitely my favorite baseball memory so far.
Big time swing right there. Yeah. Hell yeah, Diggy. I think tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun, right? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. See you guys at 8 o'clock in the morning. Get a Diggy. 1, 2, 3.
Was that the beginning? Well, it was the beginning, but I just wondered if that did something for your mindset. Mm-hmm. Because to date, you're still doing things like that. I mean, you've got 4 or 5 hits now that could be considered game winners. They might not all have been walk-offs, but like you run-roll a team by hitting one. I mean, I don't need to tell. We can go through them all if you want.
It's all good. If you want, I'm done. It's all good.
I think we had like Illinois State. There was like 2 of them.
Yeah, I think one of them was the run rule.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a 3-run homer against Eastern Illinois.
That's right, yeah.
To bring the run rule into effect. Mm-hmm. A walk-off RBI double to beat Illinois State.
Yes, sir.
And that was in the 11th inning.
Yeah, that was
what do you remember about that?
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. So that pitcher on the mound, he had some really good stuff. I remember talking to the other guys, and I'm not sure what I did my bat before off him. I can't remember right now. But, yeah, he had some really good stuff. And it was especially like his slider. His slider was really good. And he just wasn't throwing it to me a lot, and I was a little confused. And, yeah, he came with the fastball, and I just remember I was like, I mean, I got it. I was hunting the fastball that at bat because you didn't want to see that slider. It was devastating. It was a good one. So yeah, put a good swing on it, and it hung up there, and their center field was tracking it. He didn't come up with it. Stovall might have stumbled a little bit on the bags, but he gets around. That was awesome. Everyone runs out of the dugout. So yeah, that was a really cool memory.
Base. Here's the pitch, swinging a fly ball into left center field. Center fielder was playing really shallow. He goes back. He can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Stovall's going to score, and Arkansas wins. Arkansas wins on the walk-off hit by Kendall Diggs. They mob him.
And then a 3-run homer in the 8th inning, that was the difference to beat Army in a
Yep.
non-conference game.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was huge for me, just like as like a maturity moment, because like I didn't have the game I wanted before that, and in the past, I would have let that bother me. I don't know. I think I was 0 for 3 before that, just with at bats I wasn't happy about. I knew I could do better, and so I told myself going back up there, like, to do at bats. It's never too late to have a bad day. And yeah, I went up there first pitch. Guy was bringing it a little bit. Put a good swing on it. That was a really cool one too. I was fired up. That was probably one of the most. I usually try to keep pretty calm, cool, collected. Baseball's a long game. Anything can happen, all that kind of stuff. But that one was awesome.
Here's Diggs, first pitch. A high drive to center field by Diggs. There goes Golinski. He's running back at the wall. It's out of here. It's out of here. Kendall Diggs, Mr. 3-run homer.
In your opinion, what's the key to being a good hitter?
I'd say everyone at this level, like skill-wise. I mean, obviously we have the talent to be here. So I think a huge part of it is the mental side of it. Your approach, knowing how this pitcher or most pitchers are going to want to attack you, knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths, all that kind of stuff. So that's all I'd say, the mental side of hitting.
I hear this all the time, right? And it's like the definition of being in your own head.
Oh yeah.
How do you manage that without like psyching yourself out?
No,
right?
100%. No,
it's such a mental game.
It is.
I guess.
100%. Yeah, something I've really learned this year too, just growing up playing so much, is like you got to be bought into like your approach. Like no matter what, this is what I'm doing, and you can't be in between. I mean, you don't have time to be in between. And Coach Thompson, Wernis, Colin, all of them. I mean, they'll tell you that. I mean, you can't be in between. We'll go over approaches, how this guy's going to come at you, and how we're going to attack him, and that's how we're going to do it. There's no in between. There's no that kind of thing. So like, yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. Like if it's a heater, like I'm thinking here, and it's kind of like that type of thing. Like if he's going to attack with a fastball, but I know he's spinning a lot as well. Like I'm gonna hit this fastball, as lefty, like at the shortstop. And if it's spin, my barrel path, I mean, maybe I'll pull it, that type of thing. And it kind of all just kind of goes together, and that's a very simple way to look at it. But yeah, you just got to be bought into it, and there's no point of being in between, because it's not going to work out.
Yeah, that's interesting, because no matter what's happening, you just got to stay with your plan.
Exactly.
But also the work that goes into the plan.
Mm-hmm.
How much work that the coaches are putting in and you're putting in, and your teammates, anybody that's in the lineup.
Yeah.
How much work goes into one pitcher?
Oh, a ton. I mean, Coach Thompson, Coach Wernis, and then like I said, Coach Smith, Colin. They're all amazing. They live and breathe this. I mean, they want us to succeed so bad, and it's so cool to see that. But yeah, a ton goes into it. I mean, we have hitters meetings all the time. They send out videos, all this kind of stuff. I can't imagine how much work they put into it, honestly. I mean, everything is so detailed. It's unbelievable. And scouting report-wise, like if they're something about a pitcher, they're going to know. Like they know everything, and we'll have meetings, all that kind of stuff, and they'll try to get it to us the most easy way, like put it into our minds the most easy way it would be to, like, go out there in 2 hours and actually face it, that kind of stuff. But yeah, they put in a ton of work. We don't take any of it for granted. They're amazing. But then obviously they do a great job. They've been teaching us or at least me, for a couple of years now, and it's helped a lot.
Kendall Diggs steps into the plate.
What kind of things do you think about when you're walking up to the plate?
Oh yeah. So for me, I take a deep breath, all that kind of stuff. But when I step in there, obviously, you go over a bunch of stuff. He's going to attack with this, he's going to attack with this. But like, I go up there with a plan. Most of the time, like, I'm trying to get a fastball. I'm trying to get something up, or maybe not even a fastball, like a location on the pitch. And that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to go for, and getting a good swing off. And so technically that, yeah, I'd say just keeping it calm, cool, collected, knowing what the plan is. Until it gets to, and then 2 strikes. Obviously, there's a whole different thing with a 2-strike approach, but kind of the same thing, just a different plan, and just sticking to it. That's definitely the thing. And then it can go hand in hand with, if there's a runner on third, no outs, 1 out, that kind of thing. Like, what is my job in this situation? And in those situations, it's get them in. We need runs. That's the job. So that situation, it's like first pitch available. For me to pull something on the ground, if the infield's back, that type of thing. That's what I'm going to try to do. So.
Well, 52 RBIs at the time that we're recording this. You're hitting 321. You've developed a reputation for being a clutch hitter.
Thank you.
You know, getting hits when guys are in scoring position. And, well, what's that sound like coming from somebody else? Like, hey, clutch?
It is. It's awesome. It's awesome. It is really cool to hear that. You know, some of the guys, they'll say that as well. And it's pretty funny. I was talking to one of my hometown buddies the other day, and he sees some stuff like that on Twitter. I grew up with this one of these guys. He's one of my best friends. He's like a brother to me. But he's always said that just from like backyard basketball games. He's like, he's not even me. He's like my little brother. He's like, something about you guys always hit that shot or something. And now he's like, see, I told you. It's kind of funny to hear it. But no, I mean, I don't know. I think it might just be, you know, like these guys are on base. I love winning. We all love winning. And if someone's on base, I mean, I want to get them in. We want to score. That's how you win games. Not only how you win games, of course, but you need to score runs to win games. So I think that's, you know, the main thing behind it. It's just like we want to succeed. I want the team to succeed. I want to win. Yeah, it's been a good run.
Hearing your thought process on your approach at the plate, I know it's not a new thought process. Mm-hmm. It's a baseball mentality, but like for you, it's like you're trying to perfect it. Mm-hmm. Where, you know, I'm going to hit this way, or I'm going to take this approach when guys are on base, and the situation, and then, you know, it's different than just I'm going to go up here and hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody's on base. You know,
that is different.
Like it's a different approach, right?
100%.
And it seems like you've just sort of developed into that guy with. When somebody's in scoring position, you've really figured out how to. And it's baseball. You're gonna fail. I mean, it's.
Oh, of course. Yes.
But and you're only a sophomore, so but that's been, you know, something I think that fans recognize about you.
Yeah.
And you seem to thrive in that moment. Have you looked up to other people, other players that have done that, and you've tried to sort of emulate yourself after?
Yeah, I mean, I've looked up to, numbers of players that came through here. I mean, especially last year and this year. I mean, obviously, there's guys that are just unbelievable. So last year I was playing mostly like third or first base. So I remember Caden Wallace. I really looked up to him. He was awesome. Really helpful with me, like in my career, like if I had a question or just, you know, give me little pointers, that kind of thing. And just by the way he carried himself, you know, with confidence, but super humble, you know, like all that kind of stuff. But I'd say like you were saying, like from approach-wise, you know, trying to get people in, all that kind of stuff, that's just kind of been, since I've been here, that's like, it's been preached to us, you know, like just by probably like the guys, a lot of the older guys, but the coaches, like solely like, that's the job in that situation. It needs to get done. And like, it's stuck with me. And I remember, and like, I'll go up there in those situations, I remember like, I need to get the job done. The
way the culture is here, you've described it as sort of, it's more about team.
Yes.
And give me more of that. Like, what's been the message and the culture that you've gotten to be a part of here?
100%, yeah. And yeah, it's team. It's all about us. Especially this year, you know, we've been banged up. Dudes are going down, and you know, we got their back. That's been a huge thing. And you know, it's super sad to see, you know, with all the guys going down, and a couple of them, you know, making returns. It's amazing to see, and I'm sure all of them will. I know all of them will. I mean, they work their butts off. All of them do. Whether it's, you know, in the weight room or on the field when they're healthy, or it's in their rehab for their arm or their whatever it's going on. But you can definitely see that this year. Like someone goes down, someone gets the opportunity to come in and do something about it. You know, they're gonna give it everything they have just for the team to win. And I mean, you can tell. It's just how it is. That's how they preach it. You know what I mean? Like, I've heard some coaches talk about it, or some other people were like, you know, we're not supposed to be in this spot. We've had so many injuries here and here and here, and it's like these guys coming in and just playing. You know, that's what they're doing. That's what they're here to do, and it's not like something to look past. You know, they're here for a reason. Get in there, and it's all about us. And I remember I've heard that a million times in the past. Not couple weeks, you know, it's about us, no one else. And I think everyone's really bought into that. You know, we don't have any selfish guys, which is really, really fun to be around. No one likes losing, obviously. So it's just a winning group. We're going to do everything we can to go out there and succeed every single day. How
would you describe DVH?
Winning. I always say that. People will say, I mean, obviously there's a ton of words. I've heard GOAT. I've gone with that. But I mean, he's an amazing coach. He really is. He's been doing it for a long time. He's made a huge impact on my career, just, like evolving or maturing as a baseball player, but he knows how to win. He knows how to win. I have the uttermost respect for him, just like everyone else does, but he's a great coach. He knows what he's doing. He trusts his guys. And he'll tell us that, and he's one of those. He'll be one of the first ones to tell you, if someone's out, someone gets banged up, next guy up, and he's like, "Can I trust them? They're here for a reason. They've been training with us," or all that kind of stuff. So, and I think it's really cool to hear for a guy. Like for example, for me, like I wasn't playing a ton last year, and then I get a start, for example, at home against Ole Miss, and it's like, this is awesome. But it's really cool to see, he trusts us, and I was 18, 19 years old, and he trusts me to put me in there and get the job done. So, yeah, it's been amazing playing for him, and I'll never not cherish these moments.
He seems like he can be really hard and hold you accountable, but also has this ability to give you a lot of confidence.
100%. And I think that comes with, so like, he does hold us very accountable, and I think over the past few years, for me, like year and a half years, that's been huge for me because now it's like I'm to the point, I think I'm mature enough, 20 years old, and I can hold myself accountable for the most part. There's not many times, he has to say, not only me, but a lot of the older guys, this is how it is, and that's like something I've really focused on, is like my mental side, maturing as a baseball player, and I think that's how he does such a good job of like molding these players and just being mature and not having to, remind them about the silly things, silly little mistakes that like just shouldn't happen. And obviously sometimes they do, and he understands that, but he does a very good job with that, and knowing he's got your back, but he's going to hold you accountable, and it kind of just molds you into this player that is, just very fundamentally sound, all that kind of stuff. So he does a really good job with that for sure.
Coach, just what do you think of his home run there?
Yeah, he drove it. I mean, the ball hadn't been traveling left field today at all. Didn't in batting practice. Wind did die down, obviously, but he hit it a long way. That's one of the deeper parts of the park, and hit it opposite field. Showed that he really stayed on the ball. He got his lower half involved, and the ball floated out of the park. It was good to see.
Let's talk about you for a second, just what you see for your baseball future. What are your dreams? What are your goals?
Oh, my dreams, man. I wanna play in the big leagues, 100%. Always have been.
Since you were a kid?
Oh yeah. Since I started playing baseball, yeah. Since I was 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
I think it was 8. That's when I started playing, and I just fell in love with it. And I remember my dad will always say, like, he'd get up, I'd be on the couch watching MLB Network before school. It was like Quick Pitch, was it what it was called? It was just the recap of all the games, that kind of stuff. And that would be my dream, is just to play professional baseball, 100%.
When your career's over at Arkansas, what do you hope Razorback fans will remember about Kendall Diggs?
A guy that loved winning and loved the Hogs, for sure. I love this place. I love all the fans. They are amazing. Whether they're in the seats, whether they're out in the hog pen, whether they're watching at home, if they can't make it out, all the support is unbelievable, and we don't take it for granted. They're amazing, and yeah, I want them to remember me as a guy that helped bring success to here at Arkansas, and just love my time being here, and hopefully I can bring more success in my in the foreseeable future.
Braswell stands in, and here we go. It's 6:46. First pitch, he swings, soft line of right field coming on. Kendall Diggs, a dive. Did he catch it? He did. And hang a star in Kendall Diggs on the first pitch of the game. Wow, what a play.
How would you describe the Razorback baseball fans?
I'm trying to think. Okay, I love them. I'd say diehard. They're diehard. I love it. You know what I mean? And I do. I love it. Some people, I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff you see on Twitter, all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I think people would die to get this around the country. People are like, to get this much attention, especially as a baseball program in college. There's not a lot of places like this. There really isn't a place like this. So I guess I said dire, but they're amazing. They do. I love it. I do. And the fact that obviously there's going to be positive things said, negative things said, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter. The fact it's all about us. We know that, but it is really cool to see that people care about this team, and just like we care about this team, obviously. So it's just really cool to see, we have people supporting us and coming out to every game, rain or shine, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I love them. Love this place. So it's been really good.
So we take the baseball player out of you. Who are you? What kind of dude is Kendall Diggs? What is he up to?
I got you. Yeah. I'd say I'm a huge family guy. I love my family and friends. Yeah, family, friends. Still a huge sports guy. Watching just, basketball, football, whatever it is. Love the Chiefs back home, Kansas City. That's definitely a big thing for me. But I'd say sports is huge for me.
You like to watch games, like yes. Basketball, football games?
Yeah, like we'll just do all that kind of stuff. I love going to just the lake, hanging out with some buddies, that kind of stuff.
Boat?
Oh yeah. So that's why I've always told people. A lot of people I'm not a huge pool guy, but I love the lake. I love the lake. My mom's side of the family, they've got a lake up in Iowa, and then a couple of my buddies, they have lakes in Kansas City that we'll go to in the summer. It's just a really fun time.
You surf, tube, what?
I do tube.
Lake?
Yeah, I'm a big tube guy. I wish I could surf.
Be careful, man.
I know. Oh yeah, that's true. So I last couple summers.
He just keeps upping the ante, right? When you're slinging that thing around.
The last couple summers, my buddies, his mom or his dad, they're like, "We're not letting you tube." So I just there watching.
That's not gonna be on us.
Exactly. It was funny. It's real funny, but yeah. So I'm a pretty low key guy. I just love spending time with family and friends, just hanging out. But I definitely say sports take up a huge part of my life for sure.
Do you cook? Do you play video games?
I do play some video games. Yes, I do.
What do you play?
So I used to be a huge NBA and MLB The Show guy, that kind of stuff. But I haven't played a whole lot in a while, but I do like Call of Duty, all that kind of stuff. A bunch of my buddies, we grew up playing that, especially during the COVID times.
Yeah.
That's when we just started playing video games when we weren't it'd be a workout, go hit. It's there's nothing else to really do other than that. So yeah. But yeah, I'd say hanging out with family, friends, hanging out, playing video games, hanging out with my girlfriend. I do have a girlfriend as well. So yeah, man.
Cool. You watching any TV shows?
Ooh, that is something I didn't mention. I do that a lot, actually.
Yeah?
So I'm a big Netflix, series, movies. It's kind of funny. We'll be sitting around just at the house here with a couple of my roommates. We're like, let's watch a movie or something, and they'll be scrolling through, and I'm just like, seen it. They're like, dude, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm a big TV series guy, that kind of stuff. But
you got a favorite lately? Or just in general?
In general, I love the Breaking Bad series.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that was
Did you go to Better Call Saul after that?
See, so I started it, but I haven't finished it.
Yeah.
It's kind
of a grind.
It's what I heard. I heard it's a little slower. I really need to stick to that, but a couple of my buddies watched it. They said it's really good. But there's a ton of shows I could list, but that's probably my favorite if I had to list one.
So we'll wrap it up with this. Tell me about this team. You've talked about it a lot. You've been through a lot of injuries. Guys step up. You guys keep figuring out ways to win. You're getting ready to go to the postseason. Yeah. So you got a couple series left, but we're basically 2 weeks away from the SEC tournament, and then what everybody lives for in college baseball.
Exactly. Yeah, I love this team. And we all love each other. I think that's how it is. We had so many new faces coming into it last fall, or this fall, I guess, you know what I mean? And after the first week, it felt like we'd played together for years. That's how close we were. And it just meshed super well. That's you could tell none of the guys, all the dudes, they're just selfless dudes that just want to win. They want each other to succeed. And they're all super happy to be here, which is really cool. But we came together so well. And I think we all knew that, right when we got here, this is going to be a really, really fun year. And like you said, there's been some injuries, which just it really sucks to see. But they're doing a great job. Guys are out, but they're still in the dugout. They're cheering us on. They're still loving every part of it, and it's awesome. And it's kind of a thing we're doing it for them now too. That no one wants to see a guy go down, especially when they have so much. They take so much pride and joy being on the team, helping us succeed. So it's super sad to see. So we're doing everything we can, just put them on our backs and be like, let's go. You're still on here for the ride. And like you said, not too long away from the postseason, and we're stoked. It's gonna be so fun. But right now we're just focused on this weekend, and then after that it's next week. So that's how it is. It's day by day. Can't take any of it for granted, and a lot can change from now to then. We still got 6 more games in the SEC against 2 very talented teams. So taking it day by day, and we have, the sky's the limit for this group. I honestly do believe that, and I'm really looking forward to it.